Welcome everyone to another Wednesday night, the fundamentals to gain inner peace with your host, Coach Menachem Bernfeld. Here we are, Baruch Hashem, class number 58, and it's quite a journey. Thank you all for the feedback, and whatever comes up is always welcome. You can send it to coachmenachem@gmail.com. Any questions? Any clarifications? It's a journey that some people were never on, and to slow down, to become aware of these things are not always that easy. And many of us never had that space, the ability to experience these feelings that we have, these thoughts. So it is very, very important to have at least one place where you can ask your questions. And most of the answers are, it's normal. Just ride the wave, feel it. When the emotions come up, you let yourself feel it. And it doesn't last too long, versus the other way, which many are used to, suppressing the emotions. We don't want to feel. And when feeling comes up, we push it away, we keep busy, and we don't want to think about it, we don't want to feel it. So it's not always that easy. So I'm welcoming everyone on this journey. It's the journey of coming back home, becoming aware of yourself, of where you are, what's going on. So here we are. The past few weeks, we've done the 4 S's to help your child feel seen, safe, soothed, and secure. To have that environment that when they grow up, those first few young years, that you should be there for them. Just let them experience. Sometimes they're happy, sometimes they're sad. There's ups and downs, and very important that they should have somebody on their side while they're going on their own journey. And many times it's our own inner child that goes on that journey and has a tantrum. So it really goes hand in hand. When you can be there for your child, you can be there for yourself while things are going on. So that was the 4 S's. And then the past 2-3 weeks, we did the questions for parental self-reflection. And that's from the book Parenting from the Inside Out. And why is it so important, these questions? It's looking back and seeing, where did I pick up all the ideas that I have? What are my beliefs? What's the way of parenting that I use? What do I use for my kids? And where did I pick it up? Where did I see it? So sometimes you would want to do the same thing as your parents, which is beautiful. Sometimes you wouldn't want to do the same thing, and you find yourself doing the same thing. And you're thinking to yourself, wait a second, I didn't like it. So why am I doing the same thing? And if that question comes up, you're already in a good place. That means you're aware. Just to become aware of, you want to do things different and you don't like the way you do it. But these are all triggers that come up, and they're in the subconscious. Not always are we aware of those triggers, of those feelings that we have. And we react. When things come up, we want to fix it right away. We want to take care of it. When there's a tension, we want to make sure that they stop right away. Can't cry. We don't like it. And usually it's something deep inside of us, the way we feel. What are we scared of? Last week or 2 weeks ago, we mentioned that somebody, for some reason, they couldn't figure out, when their 4-year-old had a tantrum, they had such a hard time. And what came out was that her father, she grew up with a father who was an alcoholic or whatever it was, and the rage that they experienced, that's what it reminded her of. So she didn't like it, obviously. But once you become aware of it, and you can take the time to understand where it comes from, understand that they went through their journey. We're not here to blame. Everybody is in the exact place where you need to be. And what can we do different if we have to? So we did most of the questions. Tonight we're going to continue the last 4 questions, and then we'll go into a little bit of connecting to Chanukah, which is coming up, Menachem, which we're all excited, or maybe not. That's another place to be aware. You never know. So here we are. Let's do a little bit of mindfulness. Stop for a moment. Let's come into the room. Take a deep breath. And just become aware of where you are now. Look around the room, where you're sitting. Just becoming aware. Become aware of what your day looked like. How you got here. And thank yourself for taking some time off, for being here. You deserve some time off for yourself, even though some people might feel they don't deserve it. It's good to be aware of that too. And then we go inwards. Go inside, see how your body feels. Tense or relaxed. Feel what your head feels like, your face, your shoulders. Just feel your body, whatever it feels. We're not trying to change anything. We're just trying to become aware. And try to relax. Take a deep breath. And it's okay. No matter where you are, you're okay. You might be going through a stressful situation. It might be hard. Just become aware of it and take a deep breath. Okay. So just become aware of how you feel. Beautiful. Just a few minutes of mindfulness makes a big difference just to become aware of where I am, what do I feel. Before we continue the 4 last questions, just to remember that we need a lot of compassion. Sometimes it can be hard for people to look at these questions. If you went through a challenging childhood, then for sure, all of these questions might bring up triggers, different things that you don't like. And for some people, they can't come up with anything. They don't really remember, they remember a little bit here or there, but not much. But just to slow down and to think about it for a little bit. Jot down some stories, small things. And eventually, you start looking back, seeing what you picked up, where you picked it up from. And just becoming aware of what you do and why you do it. So here we go. Next question. I believe this is question number 9. Was there anyone else besides your parents in your childhood who took care of you? Was there any time that somebody else took care of you, not your parents? What was that relationship like for you? Could be positive, could be negative. What happened to those individuals? Where are they now? You're still connected, or maybe not. What is it like for you when you let others take care of your child now? Many times you can become aware of a pattern. Maybe you don't like to take the baby to the babysitter. Maybe you don't trust. Maybe only certain people. Comes from somewhere, some thoughts that you have, some beliefs that you have. Again, if anything small comes up, write it down. If nothing comes up, that's also fine. Keep on breathing. Next question. If you had a difficult time during your childhood, Were there positive relationships in or outside your home that you could depend on during these times, those times? If for those who do remember, they went through a challenging childhood, did you have someone to talk to? Were you connected with someone? How do you feel those connections benefited you then, and how might they help you now? Just to see how that one person was able to help you, just to listen, to be there. It could be a aunt, uncle, it could be a teacher, a neighbor, a friend, never know. And just feel how you felt when you had that. Or maybe you didn't have anybody and you would love to have someone. What did that feel like? Are you still connected with them? And are they able to help you now if you need it? Next question. How have your childhood experiences influenced your relationships with others as an adult? So many people are aware and some are not. Now, older as an adult, relationships at work, relationships at home, with your spouse, with your kids. Are you aware of those beliefs that you picked up when you were younger and that influenced how you relate to others now? Do you find yourself trying not to behave in a certain way because of what happened to you as a child? You might make a decision to do things different or run away from certain things because you don't want to go back to that situation. Do you have patterns of behaviors that you would like to alter but have difficulty changing? Are you aware of certain things that you do? And if you would have the option, you would love if you can do things different. And again, doesn't mean we're going to change it overnight, but just becoming aware of the ways you grew up, the beliefs that you picked up, the way, whatever it is, and you would love to change the way you behave now in your relationships, wherever. It could be at work, at home, your kids, neighbors, family members, whatever it is, you're aware that you would love to change. And the last question is, what impact do you think your childhood has had on your adult life in general? Including the ways in which you think of yourself and the ways you relate to your children. What would you like to change about the way you understand yourself and relate to others? So this is basically the end of all of these questions. Once you get a picture of all of the ideas when you were younger, maybe 7, 8 years old, or maybe a teenager, the beliefs that you picked up, is there anything that you would want to change? Do you see any patterns? So again, many people could be aware. Some people are not aware. They don't feel that it has any connection with the way they grew up. And for them, it just takes time. Many times you do it again. And if you have positive experiences, write it down. Even if you only see positives, write them down. Start reliving those positives and just to see, how you felt. And if negatives come up, don't sit in it for too long. Just write it down and just become aware. Wow, what was my thought then? Many people are self-critical. And sometimes they're trying to be perfectionists. And all of these ideas come from when we're younger. Self-critical, well, you never know whether it was a parent or a teacher, an adult, or maybe friends, your social life. If it wasn't a positive interaction, they might have said something and then you're too young to process it, too young to say, they're having a bad day. so it has nothing to do with me. So we take it in and we tell ourselves a story about ourselves. And we say we're not good. And we're always self-critical. A perfectionist is, most of the time, that's the reason. I'm only good if I do it perfect. If I do something that's not perfect, then I'm worthless. Or whatever idea comes up. So I have to do it perfectly. So it's very hard for me to go out of my comfort zone. I can't try new things because we can never do it perfect the first time. We might try, but usually it takes a few times till we figure things out. But I need to do it perfect right away, because if not, you know what comes up? My insecurity, my beliefs, my negative beliefs about myself. So these are these questions that we ask ourselves just to try to remember, where do I pick up my beliefs? And again, if nothing comes up, you're still okay. If you had a challenging childhood and you might need somebody to do it with, doing it yourself might be too hard. You need someone to sit on your side, to hold your hands, to be there for yourself, to reassure, because there's a reason why you're not connected. You don't want to think about it. So that's it with these questions. And past 3 weeks, we've done the first 8. You can look at the recordings. The recordings are available at menachembernfeld.com. Top left, the recordings are there, or on YouTube. And again, do it with compassion, slowly. There's no running. We're okay. We're just becoming aware, and we're seeing what we want to do different. And in Mitzvah Hashem, we should have, things should work out. And we'll slowly changes will happen. After acceptance, we can slowly see some change. Now, for the next few minutes, I would like to talk a little bit about Chanukah. Chanukah is coming up, and we want to connect to see where we are and where Chanukah is and what's going on. So first, to become mindful, what does Chanukah bring up? What did it look like when I was younger? Do I look forward to Chanukah? Is it something that's exciting for me? Or maybe not. You never know. Maybe it's stressful, out of routine. I don't like it. I need to stay in routine. So it's important just to become aware when you hear that word. What are your plans? Maybe things are not going to work the way you want. So that's the first step, just to become aware of how you feel when the word Chanukah comes up. The next step is to try to connect to it. Now, I want to bring up the idea of gratitude, feeling grateful for even the small things. And that those are things that we can see by Chanukah. Number one, we all know after the war and everything was impure, they didn't have oil for the menorah. And they were searching. At the end, they found a little jug, a little bit of oil. Now, before we go to the miracle that it burned for 8 days, finding that jug itself was a big miracle. And we celebrate that. The question is, it's something very small. If you think about what happens, all the years and the war that they went through, a lot of people died, a lot of people became misyavnim. We lost a lot of Yidden. And to look at this little jug, the question is that something we should celebrate? So here we are, we're celebrating something very, very small. And I believe, and I'm not saying it from my own, I heard this from others, that it's something that it shows you, Hashem shows you, even when it's very, very dark. Things are not working out. You might be in a very painful situation, but there's always some small thing that we can find, and we can focus on that and feel grateful. That's one story. And another one is Yosef HaTzadik, when his brothers sold him and he went down to Mitzrayim with the Arabs. It says that he sat there and there was a pleasant smell on the wagon. Usually the Arabs carry things that smell awful, and there was a pleasant smell. Now think about it. He's being sold. He's on the wagon with the Arabs, and his life is over. If you might know the story, what happened at the end, so you don't feel so bad. But if you wouldn't know, think about Yosef, right, sitting right over there. You don't know where this is going to end, and he was able to stop, slow down, and become aware of the good smell. It's like, wow. Even in the darkest places, even in the place where you don't see any hope, there is always something that we can grab onto, something that's positive, even if it's small, and feel grateful and say, Hashem, thank you. That means you're still here. I don't know. I have questions, obviously. I don't like what's going on. I don't like the situation. It feels negative, and please get me out of here. But for now, in this moment, there is something that I can look at the positive side and thank Hashem. So these are two ideas to feel grateful of. No matter where you are, we can always find something. So let's end with a little bit of a Chanukah meditation. We stop when we light the candles. We stop, the ladies don't do work. It's a time of slowing down, being present. And many times it's hard, the kids are around. So if you can dance and jump and have a good time with them, beautiful. But it's good to take some time before, when it's quiet, a few days before, and just imagine yourself sitting there already and get those feelings, take it in. So let's do that now. Make yourself comfortable. Do a little bit of a small Chanukah meditation. Take a deep breath and relax. Wherever you are, sitting or laying down, you can close your eyes and allow your body to relax and just take it easy. Take a deep breath in all the way down to your stomach. Imagine yourself sitting by the menorah, warm, comfortable, and the flames are burning bright. Just become aware of where you are, whatever is going on in your life. And try to find something small that you can feel grateful for. Even if it's something small, and you can thank Hashem for that small thing. Take a deep breath. See the light of the menorah. See the way you feel. Allow yourself to be filled with a sense of gratitude and hope. Even though you're not sure how things are going to work out, there's something small that you can find and feel grateful. Something small that you can thank Hashem. You can find that small thing that you can focus on and let it fill you up with a sense of gratitude and hope to know that Hashem is with you. Take another deep breath and just stay with that feeling. Take a few more deep breaths, feeling peace. Feel the peace and joy of Chanukah, even though it's not Chanukah yet, but you can imagine that you're there already. And when you're ready, you can slowly open your eyes, feeling refreshed and uplifted. And you can carry this light, the feeling of hope, of gratitude. Wherever you go, you can carry it with you. And if you like the way you feel, you can always stay there. You can close the recording if you listen to the recording and just feel the gratitude, feel the joy, feel the hope, feel the positives, and stay there as long as you want. But for now, that's it for tonight. And I want to thank you all for coming. If anything comes up, any questions, you need some clarification, you can always send me an email, coachmenachem@gmail.com. Whatever comes up is fine. There's no right or wrong. You're okay. Just become aware of what comes up. Next week, there won't be a class. Enjoy the Chanukah. So we'll see you amidst Hashem on Wednesday, December 28th. Thank you all for joining. Thank you all for showing up. And thank yourself for taking some time off for yourself, time that you deserve, so you can rejuvenate, relax, and then go back to your regular day. Have a good night, and I'll see you in 2 weeks. Happy Hanukkah.